In the heart of Africa, there's a small and unique kingdom called Eswatini, which was once known as Swaziland. The kingdom is ruled by King Mswati III, a ruler who stands out in today's world. Although Eswatini is small in size, it is rich in culture and full of life, with beautiful rolling hills and vibrant traditions. The kingdom is home to just over 1 million people, each contributing to its rich cultural heritage. But what makes King Mswati III so unique? What is his life like? How many wives does he have? And what important announcements has he made that impact the entire country? Come along as we explore the captivating story of King Mswati III and the Kingdom of Eswatini. Watch the video till the end to uncover all these intriguing details. So let's get started. The Kingdom of Eswatini is where the story of Mswati III unfolds. He emerges as the youngest of King Sobhuza II's many children, nearly 200 in all. Born on April 19, 1968, to Queen Ntombi Fuala, one of the king's younger wives, he was given the name Prince Mswatti, meaning King of all nations. This name carried special significance, as it was during this time that Swaziland was on the brink of independence. Just a few months after his birth, on September 6, 1968, the country officially gained its sovereignty, marking the beginning of a new era. Growing up in the royal residence at Njeni, near Lubamba, the young prince was nurtured within the heart of Eswatini's traditional and political life. His upbringing was overseen by his mother's sister, who served as his caretaker. Even in his early years, Prince Mswatti displayed a remarkable sense of purpose. At just 4 years old, he convinced his father to allow him to join the Royal Swaziland Police and Royal Palace Guard. By the age of 5, his ambitions led him to the Defense Force, where he approached his training with a seriousness that belied his age, foreshadowing the leadership role he would one day inherit. As Prince Mswati grew, so did his thirst for knowledge and cultural pride. He began his education close to home, attending Mazumvini Royal School for his primary years, and then moving on to Lozitha Palace School for his secondary education. But his journey of learning soon took him far beyond the borders of Eswatini. He traveled to the United Kingdom, where he attended boarding school in Sherborne. There, he immersed himself in a range of subjects, from English and mathematics to business studies and economics. Despite the distance from his homeland, Prince Mswati remained deeply connected to his roots. He excelled in Sibaka, the traditional Swazi dance that resonated with the rhythms of his heritage. His passion for the dance led him to organize a Sibaka team, which competed with pride at various events, including those held at the University of Swaziland. These experiences not only improved his academic skills, but also reinforced his cultural identity, shaping the young prince into a leader who would carry both modern knowledge and ancient traditions into his future reign. The winds of change swept through Eswatini in August 1982, when King Sobhuza II passed away, leaving behind a vast legacy and a young heir. At just 14 years old, Prince Mswati was declared the future king, a decision that set the stage for a new chapter in the kingdom's history. In the interim, the monarchy was guided by Princess Zelui, who served as regent until the prince was ready to ascend the throne. 4 years later, at the age of 18, the young prince returned to his homeland to take on the mantle of leadership. On April 25, 1986, he was crowned King Mswati III, becoming the youngest monarch in the world at that time. His mother, who had stood by his side throughout his journey, continued to rule alongside him, first as Queen Regent and later as Queen Mother. On that momentous day, King Mswati III not only took on his royal name, but also entered into his first marriage, marking the beginning of a reign that would be characterized by both tradition and transformation. One of the significant decisions King Mswati III made during his reign was to rename his country the Kingdom of Eswatini. The change stemmed from his frustration with the frequent confusion between Swaziland and Switzerland among those outside of Africa. The renaming was met with mixed reactions. While some embraced the new identity, others felt that the nation had more urgent concerns to address, such as poverty and healthcare. Nonetheless, this bold move by King Mswati III underscored his desire to carve out a distinct and proud identity for his people on the world stage. King Mswati III's reign is marked not only by his leadership, but also by his lifestyle. He owns 2 private jets, 19 Rolls-Royce cars, and a fleet of BMWs, which are used by him, his wives, and even his personal friends. This extravagant display of wealth, set against the backdrop of his nation's hardships, has drawn sharp criticism from both within Eswatini and around the world. The king's lavish spending habits have been a focal point of discontent. With an annual household budget of $61 million, King Mswatti's indulgences include a $500,000 Daimler Chrysler Maybach 62 luxury car. His personal fortune is rumored to exceed $200 million, further fueling the perception of a ruler out of touch with his people's struggles. In a country where 40% of the population is afflicted by the AIDS epidemic and a quarter relies on food aid, the disparity between the king's wealth and the nation's poverty is stark. The national health budget hovers around $15 million, a fraction of what the monarch allocates to his own household. This contrast has led to widespread condemnation, as many question the priorities of a ruler who seems more focused on personal luxury than addressing the dire needs of his people. King Mswatti III continued the tradition of polygamy that was deeply rooted in his family. His father, King Swazi II, had set an even more formidable precedent, having married 125 women over his 82-year reign. Despite the strong grip of Christian fundamentalism on his realm, King Mswatti's personal life remained as extravagant as ever. He was known for his impressive number of wives, 15 in total, and his sprawling brood of 36 children. In Eswatini, the first two wives of a king are chosen by important national advisors. There's a detailed tradition about who becomes king. According to Swazi customs, the king's lineage is important, as expressed in the saying, "A king is a king through his mother." Traditionally, the king can only marry his chosen fiancés after they have proven they can bear children. This is to ensure they can produce heirs who will continue the royal line. However, King Mswatti's personal life has not been without controversy. He has faced accusations of kidnapping women whom he wishes to marry, though no charges have ever been proven. These allegations have cast a shadow over his reign, particularly in the eyes of the international community. King Mswatti III has a complex and often controversial approach to his marital life. Among his wives was a high school girl who disappeared without her mother's knowledge. Another wife, just 17 years old, was given the title of royal fiancée. This was particularly surprising given the king's own decree from 2001 to 2005, which prohibited any sexual relations with girls under 18 to fight the HIV epidemic. In a rare moment of self-reflection, the king even playfully fined himself a cow for breaking his own rule. Despite the serious challenges facing his people, King Mswatti often grabs international headlines due to his marital choices. In 2004, he made headlines for choosing a new bride, who was Miss Teenage Swaziland and only 16 years old at the time. This decision led to widespread criticism, with many people feeling that the king was prioritizing his personal desires over the urgent needs of his country. This episode highlighted the clash between his traditional role as a monarch and the expectations of a modern, changing world. The king's marital troubles have only deepened over time. Two of his wives have already left him and found asylum in South Africa, and one of the remaining wives tried to escape as well. Her attempt to flee was unsuccessful, and she now faces house arrest. These issues have made it clear that King Mswatti's personal decisions are increasingly at odds with the expectations and needs of his people. In the heart of southern Africa, where tradition and modernity often clash, the small kingdom of Eswatini finds itself at a crossroads of cultural and social upheaval. For generations, marriage has been a symbol of pride and prestige, woven deeply into the fabric of many African cultures. It's a rite of passage, a mark of social standing, and a cornerstone of societal values. Yet, this seemingly timeless institution is now at the center of a controversial new decree that has captured global attention. In June 2019, King Mswatti III, the monarch of Eswatini, introduced a surprising and unprecedented directive. His royal proclamation mandated that every man in the kingdom must marry at least 5 wives or face imprisonment. The king's announcement was not just a call to action, but a sweeping policy shift designed to address what he described as a significant imbalance in the population. King Mswatti, known for his deep-rooted traditional beliefs and his status as Africa's last absolute monarch, expressed grave concern over what he saw as a severe shortage of men compared to women in Eswatini. This disparity, he argued, posed a serious problem in a society where marriage is not merely a personal choice, but a crucial element of social order. The king's rationale was that by requiring men to take multiple wives, it would ensure that every woman would have a husband, thereby fostering social harmony and stability. To incentivize compliance, King Mswati offered an extraordinary deal. The government pledged to cover the costs of wedding ceremonies and provide housing for the newlyweds, a gesture meant to alleviate any financial burdens associated with marrying multiple partners. The king's directive also came with a stern warning. Those who opposed or failed to adhere to this directive would face severe penalties, including life imprisonment. This radical move was purportedly aimed at addressing the imbalance in the number of men and women in Eswatini, a kingdom known for its rich cultural traditions and, according to the king, an unusually high number of unmarried women. In a bold effort to attract men from neighboring South African nations, the king allegedly invited them to apply for citizenship under the condition that they marry at least 5 local women. This offer was said to be accompanied by the promise of government-funded wedding expenses and housing as well. However, this dramatic announcement soon came under scrutiny. Reports surfaced suggesting that the purported letter bearing the Eswatini government coat of arms and allegedly signed by King Mswati III was nothing more than an elaborate hoax. An investigation by Pesachek revealed that the letter was indeed fake. The official channels of the Eswatini government and the Ministry of Home Affairs, responsible for immigration matters, disavowed any knowledge of such a decree. It confirmed that there was no record of the letter or the king's supposed offer. The royal signature on the document did not match those on verified official papers, further casting doubt on its authenticity. On March 10, 2024, the Eswatini government officially denounced the letter as a fabrication, seeking to quell the confusion and misinformation it had generated. In the aftermath of King Mswati III's controversial decree, the Kingdom of Eswatini finds itself both under scrutiny and grappling with its internal challenges. The falsified letter exposed the vulnerabilities of the region's delicate balance between tradition and modernity. The Eswatini government's swift action to disown the document underscored its commitment to maintain credible governance and preserving the integrity of its cultural values amidst global scrutiny. As Eswatini moves forward, it serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities that arise when deeply rooted traditions encounter contemporary pressures. The kingdom continues to navigate its socio-cultural landscape, striving to balance the preservation of its heritage with the evolving dynamics of a modern world. The false promise of citizenship through polygamy not only highlighted the intricate nature of cultural practices, but also the necessity for clear and honest communication in addressing societal challenges. In a broader sense, the incident illuminates the universal struggle faced by many societies as they seek to honor their traditions while adapting to the changing tides of globalization. For Eswatini, the path for the future will likely involve a nuanced approach to its cultural practices, ensuring that its rich heritage remains a source of pride while also addressing the needs and realities of its people. What do you think about King Mswati III as a ruler? Share your thoughts in the comments, and see you in the next video.